Welcome to the Bruins Benders Podcast, Season 4, Episode 13 with Maddie and Smitty. This is Not the Sway, brought to you on the Inside the Ring Podcast Network at InsideTheRink.com. In this episode, we will discuss John Tortorella's comments about the Bruins possibly being a diving team. Matt Poitras is on a 5-game goal streak. And what is up with Jeremy Swayman? All that and more on this episode. Hit subscribe on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. All subscribers are eligible for the NHL's jersey giveaway of your choice. And also follow this QR code on your screen to purchase event tickets through Ticketmaster. Follow each of us on X at Benders Smitty, at Mr. Matty Barry. And we are at Bruins Benders. And here we are, the Bruins back to reality after a meltdown. After a complete beatdown, and no one feels more beat down than us.
That's true. That was that was a kick in the nuts. Who sings that song back? By the way, back to life,
back to oh, that's Soul to Soul. In fact, that's my first ever CD. I got it for Christmas. The first ever CD in my possession was Soul to Soul. Excellent.
Did you have cassette tapes and records before that? Or
I had cassette tapes. I remember Past the Dutchie. I had Musical Youth.
Yeah,
I had those on the
tapes because I belonged to that Columbia House thing where you get like 1,000
Did you?
for like 4 cents or something.
Yeah,
and then they charge you like $20 for one for one at one point or something. You had to buy like 6 of them over the 20 years, but you cancel it. They used to just send it to you in the mail. They would pick like a random album of the month and send it to you in the mail if you didn't fill out the postcard and send it back to them.
Yeah.
But my first things that I had ever were albums, and I had Queen's Greatest Hits, and I had Kool and the Gang.
Okay. I had Gap Band, and I had I think I had Sesame Street Fever.
Yeah.
I had that one. Yeah. You know, because I was fucking 8.
Yeah. Here you go.
At the time.
Side there for
Thank you
for the kids.
You're welcome. Yeah. So the Bruins stink, and here we are again.
Yeah. I mean, you got to fill the program with something when the team sucks. You got to fill it with something. We got to talk about something.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend an hour banging my head against the wall, because that's what we do. After every game on the post-game lives. And you should watch those, because it's a lot of fun. You can comment, you can get right in there with us, and we can all be miserable together.
Yeah, the Fellowship of the Miserable.
Yeah, that's us.
Here on the Bruins Benders Podcast. Rapid review, 12-7 versus Philadelphia. The Bruins eke out a win over the Philadelphians at home. Almost lost again to them, but they get the win in overtime. And all is right with the world for a hot second.
Yeah. I mean, these are the games they need to win. These are the teams they need to beat. These are the games they need to win. And they were able to pull it out there at the end, and Torts didn't take too kindly, I guess, to some of the antics from the Bruins, supposedly. And producer Connor has John Tortorella, and this is what he had to say about it.
Not dive. Maybe I should start teaching him that. The way this is going.
Should I do my Tortorella impersonation right now?
Maybe I should start.
Because I do a mean John Tortorella.
Obviously, penalties a factor today, but 5-on-5, were you happy with the body of work, especially in the first period?
We played our ass off. Yes, I thought we played really well.
When you feel like that, like you just said, those comments you made, what does it mean to you, especially defending your guys like that you feel like maybe something was stolen from you guys tonight?
Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it. It's one of the things we talk about most as a team. We're going to play an honest game. There's no cheating. There's no embarrassing referees. You don't embarrass the referees. And that went on here tonight is just ridiculous. So I'm proud of the way our team played. Did we piss another one away? Yeah. But other people had a little bit to do with that also.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. And for him to be calling the Bruins out on that, as a team that has played the right way and not dove all those years going up against the Canadian teams. For him to say that against the Bruins is kind of laughable. I mean, I love Torts, and he's sticking up for his guys, and he should. And he's pissed that they blew it at the end. But to say that his team doesn't dive, he's full of shit. I mean, sorry, John, but he's full of shit. I mean, Michkov, the first time McAvoy touched him, he went down easy. And then when McAvoy went back at him for diving the first time, he dove again twice in 20 fucking seconds. So don't give me this bullshit about, oh, we play the right way and I'm proud of the way our guys played, but the other team dives around. No, wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah. I mean, it's wrong. He's wrong. The Bruins, I don't ever remember the Bruins being accused of diving. In fact, I think they should sell more penalties. I don't think they do it enough. I think other teams do it all the time to them. And I've never really heard anybody call Bruins diving team of any sort.
I mean, every team in the league now throws their head back when they get hit.
Mm-hmm.
When they get hit, they do. Every single team in the league does it.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them. Because they want to draw attention to the fact that, hey, I just got hit in the face with a high stick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do some teams not get hit in the face with a high stick and do that still? Yes. But the Bruins aren't one of those teams.
No, they aren't. No, that high sticking thing happens a lot.
They'll do it. But like the other night, they were playing. Who are they Bruins playing with the Pastrnak high stick? What game? I don't even know what game it was. Was it the Winnipeg? No, it wasn't the Winnipeg game. It was before Winnipeg. Who'd they play before Winnipeg?
Philadelphia. I don't know. I don't know who they played before that either.
It was it was the Red Wings.
Red Wings. Okay. Yes. I think you're right.
It was the defenseman in the corner. Pastrnak stick checks him, and his own stick hits him in the face. And Pastrnak gets called for a penalty. And it was his own guy, and he threw his head back. It was his own stick, and he threw his head back.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. This is his own stick.
And they scored on it. I thought I think it might have been Winnipeg. It might have been during the Winnipeg game. There were so many goals scored in that game that I lost track.
David Pastrnak did get a 2-minute minor last night against Winnipeg for a high sticking against Logan Stanley.
That's the one.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, so it was
Stanley. Yeah, Stanley.
And then Winnipeg scored, and that was a big goal at the time. That made it 3-1, I believe.
Yeah.
So. That kind of put the game out of reach, and then the third period, the Bruins obviously fell apart. But everybody does it. I don't understand what Torts is calling out the wrong team. If you want to pick on a team about diving and flopping and shit like that, go back to Montreal and PK Subban era Canadians.
Oh my goodness!
And you want to pick on a team? Pick on those fucking assholes.
Yeah. The Mike Riberos of the world.
Yeah. I mean, come on,
those guys. Yeah. So then of course on December 10th, as we have mentioned, the Boston Bruins were pounded rectally by the Winnipeg Jets 8-1, a 5-0 third period, and that'll do it. Bruins were just completely outclassed, and then of course the response. There were 3 fights in there at the end, but the Bruins are just completely outclassed by these really good teams in the league. And this is several times now that they've been really, really belted by good teams, not just losing to them.
Yeah, they don't, and we'll talk about this later in the chirps, but they don't play well. They haven't played well all year against good teams, against playoff teams. They just haven't. So there's a gap there between the Bruins and the teams that are really good in this league. And right now the Bruins can't close it. They can't close that gap. So,
it's significant.
It is
a significant gap.
It is.
Really is. All right. And 7 Chirps is brought to you by Lops Brewing, Lobster Brewery and Tasting Room in downtown Woonsocket, Rhode Island, specializing in small batch ales and lagers. It's open 7 days a week. Use the coupon code SPORTS to get 10% off your online order at Lops Brewing. Follow them and social media at Lops Brewing for new beers and events. And chirp number one, as we talked about with John Tortorella's thoughts on Boston's diving team. What is the overall problem with the culture of the Boston Bruins, do you think?
I don't think there's enough guys that have been there when they were good. And when and I think some of the guys that were there are still kind of too young. Like your Charlie McAvoy's, like he shouldn't probably be a captain right now. He's still kind of young into the league, and I just, the way that he loses discipline when the games get out of hand is not really what you want from a leader of your team. That's not how you want other guys on your team to follow. That's not an example you want them to follow. So I just feel like they need another, like a Kevin Shattenkirk, a Pat Maroon, a Nick Foligno, a Mark Recchi. Like they need another veteran or two who's been through it, who has some experience, who's an integral part of the team. So like the Maroons and the Shattenkirks of the world were like on the periphery. Like you can't, it's tough to lead a club if you're a fourth line guy or a seventh defenseman. You know, you're out there for 6 minutes a night, you know, barely skating around in Pat Maroon's case. And then Kevin Shattenkirk, you know, it was limited minutes or he was scratched for a big part of it. So, you know, it's tough to be a leader. They need some veteran guys who are in the, you know, in the top six, that, you know, maybe like a Ryan O'Reilly type of guy, like a guy who's been through it. You know, I'm not necessarily advocating to go out and get a guy like that, but they need some more veteran presence, I think, on the team right now.
I think that's fair. I do. I think that's fair. I think they need, you know, they had some new people come in. They had some people leave, as you mentioned, guys like Shattenkirk, Maroon. This is probably why they've gotten those guys in the past too.
Yeah.
And then they went in this year with thinking that maybe it'll be Marchand and Pastrnak and McAvoy, and that nucleus doesn't really seem to be providing the same type of good leadership that you need to provide. I still question the whole Marchand thing. Like, I think he's much more mature, and I think he's a very good player, and I think he's a good Bruin and all that. But the problem I'm having with him is that I still don't think he's really 100% captain material, and I don't think he's 100% comfortable with it.
I'm with you there. I agree with you 100%. I mean, of all the guys on the team, he should be the captain.
Sure.
Like, there's not another choice. Like he earned it. He deserves it. Sure. He should be that guy. I think he plays better when he's a little more on the edge. And I think as a captain, he's trying to dial that back even more. Like, I know he has a reputation already, so he's trying to dial it back, but he needs to be closer to the edge, to be, you know, the effective guy that he is, to win battles, to, you know, he occasionally will slew foot a guy or, you know, whatever it is. Like, you know, to win battles, like, he needs to be more on the edge. He's 5'9" and 100 and whatever. Like, that's the way he needs to play. And I think as a captain, he's tried to get away from that a little bit, and it hurts his overall game.
I think so too. I think that's a valid point. Yeah,
I mean, and I think if he wasn't the captain, I think he probably would feel more freely to play, you know, more to his identity. That is what got him into the league.
Yeah, I think you're right on. Chirp 2, Matthew Poitras, 5-game goal streak. He has scored again tonight, Wednesday night as well. So games in 5 straight for Poitras. We talked about this in the post-game live, but do you think it's time for a call-up from Matthew?
I mean, they could use the offense, but I don't think so. I really think he needs to. I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, he needs to just leave him alone. Let him play big minutes. He's on fire right now. He's getting some confidence. Like, let him develop that confidence. Let him develop that so when he comes up to the NHL level, he still has that confidence. And when they put him in situations, maybe he can produce and stick and give the team a bump. So I say leave him down there for like a half a season at least, and let him just, compete down there and develop and be confident, play in all situations. And then hopefully he can come up here and give the team a boost, because they certainly could use it. But like you said last night, I think it's a little unfair to him the way they've handled it before, because he was kind of thrust into a situation where they were trying to make him fit. Like he had to, a couple of years ago, it was either on the Bruins or junior hockey. And then, so it was kind of a tough spot for him, and he could use some more development time. He could.
I'm 1,000% with you. Like I always thought he needed the time that others got. All the good forwards they've had in the past, recent years, have had significant time in Providence. I don't think he should be the guy who cleans up your mess anymore. Like he's done it a couple of times. You didn't have enough, so let's play Poitras early on. Mm-hmm. And then this year, I thought he should have started the year in Providence. He didn't, because again, you're a forward short because the general manager left you a forward short. So now it's Poitras again. I think that really, I think he did an admirable job, but I think it was sort of unfair to him to come in and have to play at 19 years old, 20 years old, because you didn't have enough offense, so you didn't have enough centers or whatever it is. And I think that was unfair to him. I think now you're seeing this is exactly what you want to see, is him dominate down there.
Yes.
If he was just flying under the radar and not really producing much, then that would be alarming. But now he's the best player on the ice. So So that's what you want. That's what you want to see, and you want to continue to see that. And I think you bring him up again. I think you're right. I think you bring him up again, and I just don't think it's the best for his development personally. So keep him down there for a while. And again, your issues go far beyond Matt Poitras.
Oh yeah,
helping you. So
you're not like I said before that. They're not one forward away. They're multiple forwards away.
Yeah, they are.
They have a few good forwards and then a bunch of fourth line guys that are trying hard, and that's what they've been. Their whole existence, it felt like, most of the time. They've always been forward short. So, that's that's where Sweeney's left him again.
Yeah,
Sweens.
Chirp 3. Jeremy Swayman is bad. Why?
Hold out the contract, thinking he's has a master's from the University of Maine School of Business, putting his contract demands in the media, not saving soft goals, pretending he's a bulldog when he gives up at the end of games. You have any more? I could keep going if you want.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. I mean his numbers right now: 3.27 goals against, 8.85 save percentage, and someone's trying to tell me on X today that he's not at fault, and I'm not blaming the right people. Well, I'll tell you, he's right up there, and I'll tell you what, Brad Marchand agrees that he is, because he didn't come to his defense when asked about Jeremy Swayman. And if he felt bad if Swayman was still in net for 8 goals, he said, no, he's just as bad as the rest of us. When typically forwards would say, boy, we really let him hang out to dry. We can't do that to our goaltender. Nope. He didn't say that.
No, he said, not really.
Not really.
Doesn't feel bad. Not really. So, I mean, look, it was a 3-1 game. It was a 3-1 game. Goal 4 was shot at the middle of the net low, and it got through him. Goal 5 was low blocker off a rush. And goal 7 was from behind the goddamn net.
Yeah.
So let's not pretend he's not at fault.
Right.
And somebody did mention on X, what about the center with 3 goals that you're paying 7.75? And I said, look, if you watch or listen to any of our programs, any of our content, you know that Elias Lindholm is not getting a free pass.
No.
I mean, I've said all along that they shouldn't have signed the guy. We've said all along that he's a third line center. We said all along that the 2 guys above him that are getting paid less than him had more points than him last year. Zacha and Coyle both had better seasons than Lindholm did last year, and yet you paid him to come in and be the number 1 guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had 44 points last year. 4-4. Not 8-4, not 7-4, not 6-4, 4-4. That sucks. That's not worthy of $8 million a year at all.
No.
So don't pretend like we're blaming only Swayman. Swayman is a problem, and Swayman's getting 8 and change now. So he's even more of a problem. If he was doing this at 5 or 6 million, even, it would be more stomach. You would be able to stomach it a little bit more. But no, he holds out. Everybody's pissed. And I don't know if the team's gotten over it.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it last night on Post Game Live, but I don't think the team has confidence in him when he's in net.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
And they don't play as well in front of him because of it. Because if they make a mistake, they know it's probably going in.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the past, the Bruins goaltending bailed them out. You know, the last couple of years, the goaltending has been the reason this team has been good.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah.
This year it's not. This year it's the reason that the team is mediocre. Is because he has the lowest goals saved above expected in the league.
In the league. Yeah.
Let's not pretend he's not an issue, because he's a huge issue.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Huge.
It's huge issue. And these games that happen on Tuesday night against Winnipeg seem to happen when he's in net. Like, it seems to go down the drain when he's in net, and the team isn't really helping to bail him out or kind of hang him out to dry. It's just, it's weird. It's weird, and it's not normal. So I don't know.
No,
I think say all you want about it. Yeah, defensively, they're a mess at times. Of course, yeah. Offensively, they can't score goals, and it's a really terrible brand of hockey sometimes. Yes, we get all that, but you can't just say your goaltender's not to blame at all because you're not great defensively, or you can't say that, because last year and the year before, I mean, the goalies were standing on their heads in games when the Bruins didn't show up. But they still won those games because the goaltender kept them in the game. This year, that's not happening. So the goaltender is somewhat at fault. So can we look at people say that the Bruins players get left off they get left off the hook because of Montgomery and everything else. Like the players need to be more accountable. Well, then why can't we keep the goaltender accountable? Like why can't the goaltender be accountable?
He should be accountable. And just so people don't think I just made that up about Jeremy Swayman. This is a tweet from Scott McLaughlin. After last night, which was Wednesday night's game against Winnipeg, Jeremy Swayman now ranks dead last in the NHL in goals saved above expected, minus 11.6 this season, according to MoneyPuck.com. So
yeah, what other stat do you need? Like, look, you can't say one breath that the players get a free pass and it's everybody else's fault, and then not want to at least give some of the blame to the goaltender,
especially after he held out.
Yeah, he held out for big time monies to have a 3.27 goals against.
Yeah, and set the market for goalies. Well, I mean, he's going to set the market all right, because anybody that's decent now is going to get like 15. If he's getting 8,
right, he's really setting the market with an 8.85 saves percentage.
Yeah. Sweet. Anybody that plays average goaltending is going to be making $12 million a year now. Thanks, Jeremy.
Setting the bar. Setting the bar. Every goalie makes 8.25 and above. Yeah. Good for you, Jeremy.
Goalies are going to be making 8.25 pretty soon if this shit keeps up.
Yeah, and he's going to be one of them.
Going to be.
Yeah, he's going to be one of them.
That's what he should be right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it, before. I mean, he did have a little stretch there when they won their 3 in a row. where he was playing, pretty decently. But the net should be Korpisalo's right now. But if he wins the game after that, and you ride the hot guy now, they don't have the luxury of like trying to get Swayman right in games now in the middle of this road trip against good teams. They don't have the luxury to do that. They got to put the guy in there who's winning games, who's playing well. And right now, that goaltender is Korpisalo. As much as I didn't want him here to begin with, he's figured out his shit. Like Swayman needs to get with goalie Bob and figure out his shit. Figure it out. Have a meeting. Go out to dinner with the guys on the team and have a blowout. Fight somebody. He wants to fight everybody in the games. Fight somebody in practice. I don't know. He's got to do something to get his mind right, figure it out, because what's going on right now is not working.
Chirp 4, the Bruins aren't only losing to good teams, but getting trounced. It shouldn't be this bad, right?
It shouldn't be, but it is.
It
is.
But the wheels fall off against really good teams. Carolina, Winnipeg,
Dallas.
That doesn't matter. Dallas doesn't matter who it is.
Nope.
The wheels fall off. They don't just lose; they get killed, and that escalated quickly.
It did
against Winnipeg. 3-1. You're in the game. Got a real shot.
Yep.
And like you said, an iffy, leaky goal, and it's 8-1 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And they let the game just get away from them, which is almost more alarming than losing to good teams, is the fashion in which they lose.
Yeah, five their goals, they're like the third period thing was like they were starting to break out of that, where they had like one of the worst third period teams in the league. Not anymore. Like last night, 5-0 Winnipeg in the third period. So that's back. Swayman seemed like unfocused or whatever towards the end, like that seventh goal from behind the net. Like, come on, dude. Like, I know you want the game to end. Everybody wants the game to end, but you can't let that go in.
No, that was absurd. That's shitty.
So
compete, please.
Yeah, I mean they have 4-13 against playoff teams currently in playoff structure right now. They've scored 30 goals and given up 58. They're averaging 2.3 a game against playoff teams and giving up almost 4.5, 4.46. So, I mean, those numbers are bad.
Here's a question I have for you, just in the grand scheme of things in society as a whole. Like, do you think there's an issue with just overall competitiveness anyway? Like players being ultra competitive. Like, do you think Jeremy Swayman is just a Gen Z kind of the new wave kind of athlete that, is just kind of doing this for a job and not just super ultra competitive like the great, like you would just assume players are really competitive. Like they'll compete to the end, that they're playing as hard as they can. You assume that. It's not true, but you assume it, that a guy is just going to compete till the end. And I question like the new athlete, if that's a thing, and if that's still a thing anymore.
I feel like Jeremy Swayman as a whole, as a totality, in the totality of his work, I think is competitive. I don't know if he's feeling contract pressure. I don't know if he's feeling pressure from his team. I don't know if he's not at ease because guys on our team are pissed about the way he handled the negotiation. I don't know if he's upset about the coaching change. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just think he doesn't have focus right now. And that's not to say he's not competing and not trying, because I think he is. Like, I think you don't make it into professional sports unless you're competitive.
Well, of course.
You just won't. Like, you have to be competitive in order to be a professional athlete. So I'm not going to say that he's out there just dogging it, because I don't think he is. I think he's trying. I just don't think he's focused. I don't think he's mentally as sharp as he needs to be. And I don't think he's as probably conditioned and all that because of the holdout. I think that affected him. So, but I do agree that overall, I think there is a toughness factor or a I don't want to say it was like, resiliency that today's athletes don't have as much as they have in the past. And maybe that's me as an old guy saying, in my day, they were better. And that's probably some of it. But I just feel like athletes these days with the AAU thing and all that stuff are like, their asses are kissed from the time they're like 14 years old. So everybody's telling them they're the greatest, you're the best. And I don't feel like they have to fight through as much stuff to achieve. So when it comes to nut cutting time, when they're out there on the ice, can they fight through something and be able to win or win a battle or make a save, whatever the case may be. So I don't know. I mean, that's probably some old man bias on my part, but overall, I think today's athletes in general, not everybody, but in general, are a little softer.
I think so.
A little softer than they have previously.
I think they are quick to bring up an excuse or something else's faults rather than
I mean you and I have both coached sports, and there's a lot of excuse making.
Oh my God!
From kids these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah, they have it. Yeah,
it's not a lot of ownership in things, and I think I'm not saying that that's what the problem is, but I think that would go a long way to building character and building toughness within a player, is like, owning up to mistakes, being self-aware, like these are the things I'm not great at, these are the things I should work on because I'm not great at these things. There's so many things. Body language, I think kids these days is awful.
That's terrible.
So I mean, I don't want to have this be like a thing about society as a whole, but I think in general, athletes today are probably a little softer than they were.
Do you think Patrice Bergeron would have provided the same answer as Brad Marchand when it comes to Jeremy Swayman being hung out to dry in that game and feeling sorry for him? What do you think Patrice Bergeron's response would have been?
I do not think he would have given the same response.
I think he would have been, we kind of left him out there with this unacceptable how he played, and the goaltender. It's not the goaltender's fault. I mean, he's doing the best he can, but we had our own issues, and it caused our team to not play well, and we need to play better in front of him. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, I think he's more diplomatic. He knows how to talk to the press and with captain speak. ITR producer Connor said Patrice is a gentleman's gentleman, which is true. He is that. Marchand's a little more fiery, and look, I feel like he's giving, and it might just be a subtle jab, but Jeremy Swayman wanted his contract stuff to be in the media, wanted it to be public, and Marchand made a comment way back that he said, I don't talk ever about my contract in the media. That stuff stays between me and the team. And so he was probably thinking when that question was asked, Swayman wants to use the media to talk about contracts and talk about stuff like that. Well, I'll use the media. Yeah, Jeremy. You weren't good. You were just as responsible as the rest of us. You want to put it out there in the media? You want to air team stuff in the media? Well, here you go. Enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it.
I'm telling you, it's a thing. Yeah. It's a thing. In Chirp 5, Brad Marchand talked about how the Bruins were not performing in practice and that the practices were sloppy and that this sets up for a bad game. And here we are against Winnipeg. So my question to you is, and it's probably already been answered, but Why is it that the team has slow starts? Why is it that the team has bad practices? What is going on? And what the hell, if you're the general manager of the team and this keeps happening, why do we just hear crickets about any type of possible move?
About the slow starts and the practice, I think over the course of a season that happens. Like it's a grind. I think you lose your game at points in time. Especially
I feel like they never practice, to be honest with you. Then they have a practice and it's sloppy.
That's part of it. You've played a lot of games. They had back-to-backs, last week, so they weren't practicing all that much. And then they get mandated days off now from the NHLPA. So some days they can't practice. So if they have a bunch of games on the schedule, and then they're supposed to practice, twice that week, but one of them's a mandatory day off, then you got one practice in a week, and you can't really work on things. So I'll chalk that up to in season whatever about sloppy practices. The starting on time in the games, though, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because it's been a constant here. It's not like it's once in a while they have a slow start. It's like generally they start slow. Like that's how they start. That's the way they usually start games, slowly. The other team wins a face-off. They get it into the Bruins end. They're hemmed in for 2 minutes. Like that's generally how they start games
like
now.
Clockwork, yeah.
So I don't know how you rectify that. I really don't. You could go with different starting lineups. You could, have somebody win a face-off. I mean, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they don't seem to have their legs at the beginning of games. Now, do they need to do a different warm-up? Do they need to start sooner? I don't know. There should be somebody trying to figure that out, though, because it's been going on for a while. It's not like it was just this year. Like it's been going on for years. Yeah. So
yeah.
Do the strength and conditioning guys need to do something different? I don't know.
Yeah.
They need to figure something out with that thing, because it's an issue.
Correct. Chirp 6, 3 fights in the 8-1 loss to Winnipeg. Did they accomplish anything with that sort of response?
No, because I think when the fight, what was it when the fights happened? Like 4-5-1, 4-1?
Wasn't it 5? Was it 5-6-1? No,
I think it might have been 5-1.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. So it was not going to change the outcome.
No, it wasn't going to change the outcome of the game.
And then Freddie picked on a guy that can't fight.
Yeah.
Right. So there's the other thing.
Yeah, Freddie, I think they said afterwards, Freddie's had 37 fights in his NHL career, or maybe in his professional hockey career.
And the other guy had 6 penalty minutes.
Yeah, 0 fights. So
0 fights. Yeah.
I mean, the guy probably should have not accepted the fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a little bit on him, I would say. But I mean, there is a code to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And usually fighters do not pick on guys that don't fight.
Yeah.
And maybe Freddie didn't know that. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there that maybe he didn't know I had never fought before. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in Freddie's head.
Yeah.
But usually he should be picking on a guy that fights, or, is more known as a tough guy. So I didn't love that. I mean, knocked out a 1-punch Swede. What I mean, whatever. But
not the angry Swede.
Not the one-eyed angry Swede. No.
No, not Carl Soderberg.
The Kastelik Stanley fight was more like, that's more how it should be done, I would say. And Kastelik won that fight pretty handily. He's a tough customer.
He is. Kastelik is a tough guy, and Kastelik, is a good fourth liner. I mean, I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind them re-upping him one more time for one more year next year. Fine. Usually I'm not on the fourth line train. Like usually I don't want to go a certain distance with them because they're so interchangeable. Like I don't want to overpay Moncrief to stay. Like, can we not do that thing, please?
I'm with you, but he does it. Yeah, he does everything pretty well. Like he'll forecheck, he'll hit, he'll fight. He's got a little bit of touch. He's fast. So like he can fill Freddie's role. What Freddie's doing right now.
Yes, he can.
So
I can fill Freddie's role.
You can let Freddie walk, and Kastelik can just slide right in there. And then when he gets up to wanting, $2-3 million, then you can wave him goodbye. But I think he's a pretty good anchor there for the bottom six, so I wouldn't mind them re-upping him either.
Do you think that what is your best guess on Frederic? What happens with him?
In typical Don Sweeney fashion, they will keep him on the team because they're making a playoff push, and he will stay here until the end of the season. He will walk for nothing at the end of the season. The Bruins will not get any assets for him, and there you go. That's how it'll happen, because the Bruins don't like to get paid for their assets. They like to let them walk away for nothing.
So he does a Krug and a DeBrusque, and he just leaves.
There's your smartest guy in the room, Harvard education, just letting a guy walk who you're not going to re-sign. You have plenty of guys who could fill his role on the team and in Providence. Max Jones scored again the other night, last night, tonight, whatever it is. He's having a good little run down there in Providence too. Like, he's fast, he's big, he hits, has touch, has hands.
He'll take penalties like Frederic does.
Like Frederic will. I think he fights. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
fine.
So he's faster than Frederic is. He doesn't play center, but Frederic really doesn't either. So
no, he doesn't anymore. You don't want Frederic playing center.
So they have replacements for him.
Yeah.
So the whole we can't trade him because why? He's he's minus fucking 9 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he has 4 goals or 2 goals, whatever it is. Like, he is replaceable.
1,000% he is.
So they should trade him yesterday. They should have traded him
after the 2-goal game.
2 goals. Yeah. Yes. Should have been that night. Sweeney should have been on the phone with St. Louis Blues saying, you want what do you think?
Or the 2 goals he scored against the Blues.
That's what I'm saying.
He should have been on the plane with them. Yeah. Should have been on the plane with them. Yeah.
He should have called up Rutherford after that Blues game when Frederic scored twice and been like, what will you give me for Frederic?
Yeah. Yes. But no. Chirp 7. Alec Regula was placed on waivers, was coming back from an injury, but claimed by the Edmonton Oilers. So no more Alec Regula in Providence. Leaves the Bruins a little thin at right shot D in the minors in case of injury. So what happens there?
Yeah, they are. They are. They're a little thin. They're a little thin. And everybody kept talking about lefty, and they went out and addressed it with Lindholm and then Zadorov now. And Wotherspoon plays lefty, but they don't really have a righty.
No, their righty is thin.
So he was one of your guys back there for that, and because he's played NHL games. I think he has 22 NHL games in his career.
Yeah.
So he's played a little bit of time in the NHL. I would rather have a legitimate right-handed defenseman than a guy that's a left shot that keeps switching over there. That never really works.
No.
Switching Wotherspoon over there, or
you shouldn't have to put yourself in that position.
No, that's what I mean. It never really works. Now, could the Bruins have done anything to prevent this? Not really, unless they carried him on the NHL roster as an 8th D or whatever, and then you're into eating up a little salary cap space that you probably need to really save if you want to make any kind of move at the deadline. So Sweeney kind of put himself in a bad spot with this.
Yeah. I mean, He has.
They're short a forward. They don't have cap space. They're short on right D, and the guy comes back from being hurt. You have to pass him through because you can't carry him on the NHL club, or you're going to lose more cap space.
Yeah.
So you lose the player instead.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
and they sent him through waivers, and I bet you Sweeney thought he'd get through, and he didn't.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah. He thought he'd get through, and he didn't. So,
but I read in the story today that a lot of teams are looking for right shot defensemen, depth defensemen.
Lo and behold.
Yeah. Why, Mr. Harvard educated man, Sweens, did you not think that a right shot defenseman with NHL experience would get through waivers? Why would you think that?
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words on that one. But to me, it's maybe you send Wotherspoon down and you keep Regula as the extra defenseman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
If you're worried about that,
yeah,
he wasn't worried about it. But then they lost the player, so they
lost the player. Yeah, and that's not good. And then Mason Lohrei has reached the 70 game threshold.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he had 70 goals, but he is now not. He has to go through waivers if sent down ever, which he probably won't be. But you can't even make a transactional move with Mason right now, because you can't send him through waivers without getting claimed. So,
yeah, I mean he'll be on the team. I mean
he'll be on the team. Yeah, he'll be on the team.
But speaking of defensemen, do you think some of their defensive issues of late? And we haven't really talked about this, and I wanted to make it a chirp, but we had already had them all filled out. Do they miss Hampus Lindholm?
They do. They miss Hampus Lindholm.
Probably playing the best.
He plays 24, 25 minutes a game.
Yeah,
he plays a lot of ice.
He plays defensive zone starts and all that. They miss him.
They miss him big time.
Quite a bit.
He's we say what we do about Hampus. He's a good player, and he plays a lot of minutes. And they've missed him big time because now Lohrei has to play more, and Wotherspoon and every other fucking guy, whatever it is.
Jordan Osterley's in there now.
He's in there now, and Osterley's been adequate. He's been fine. I mean, against Winnipeg, he was even in 21 minutes of time, and an 8-1 game is difficult to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but Lindholm, yes. Lindholm was arguably, their best player from the beginning of the season until he got hurt. He was in the discussion.
Yeah,
as their top all-around player. And they lost him. So yes, that's a big loss that no one really seems to talk about.
No.
So that's a great point. And hopefully he comes back soon. But and then it's going to take some time for him to get accustomed to the NHL game and everything.
He's not even
hop on and play 25 minutes and be great. So
no, he's not even skating yet.
No, he's not skating yet. So, but it is a good point. They miss him big time, big time, and
especially against the good teams. I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, they could really use Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah, this will be this road trip's certainly going to be a test for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, let's listen to what DraftKings has to say. DraftKings Sportsbook is Boston's hometown sportsbook. It's live right here in Massachusetts. Bet local on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home with DraftKings. To celebrate, all new customers will receive up to $250 in bonus bets when you sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook using code ITR. You can now bet local on moneyline spreads, props, and more with one of America's top-rated sportsbooks. That's DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up with the code ITR to get up to $250 in bonus bets to use now that mobile sports betting is live in Massachusetts. That's code ITR, and it's only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
If your loved one is experiencing problems with gambling, call 800-327-5050 or visit helplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist, free and confidentially, 24/7, must be 21 plus, physically present in Mass. Eligibility restrictions apply, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as free bets. Terms at DraftKings.com/MA.
I love how we do that. We record an ad read for that, and we don't edit it at all. It's just we raw dog everything here. Like everything is just raw and authentic, and I think that's why people love us.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We have every opportunity to edit it. Fuck it. You know, let's stumble right through it.
Yeah, we'll stumble through it.
Yeah,
it sounds authentic. Like
it does, doesn't it? It sounds authentic. You know, we want to be in the nude. We want to be
in the nude.
We want to be nude.
Nobody wants to see that.
No. I mean, that's the next thing we do. We lose a few more games, and we're gonna have to. I mean, for ratings. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna be able to do.
Wants to see us.
Yeah,
nude.
Tastefully done. Always.
Tastefully done, though.
Actually, it wouldn't be tasteful at all with us.
Oh, it wouldn't. It would be a sight to see, though.
Maybe that'll be the topic on today's Start Bench Cut.
Well. The trick is here. No start bench cut today. But speaking of presents, like you guys were just speaking of, it's that time of the season. And of course, you know, I've been out and about starting to shop for those timely gifts of the season. Mm-hmm. And it made me think, what is the best gift that you have ever received for the holidays?
All right, Sven, you go.
I got I'm thinking recently I got Winter Classic tickets.
Okay.
My son and I got Winter Classic tickets to see Bruins Penguins.
Yeah.
At Fenway. That's right up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's right up there.
Yeah.
I got when I was a kid, it was probably like an Atari. I think I got an Atari one year, and I was like over the moon. I'm still a big video game guy, so yeah.
I can confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say when I was a kid, I would say that probably video game related, like Nintendo 64 or something like that, was probably the best. I did get Celtics and Bruins tickets for like a weekend where the Friday night, Saturday night.
Oh, that's sweet.
That was a good take, and that was like a birthday, Christmas combined. Because my birthday is 12 days before Christmas, so that was good. I mean, it's funny looking back. I don't remember. I'll tell you what I do love: the stocking. Like the stockings were like what I really loved, because my mother did a great job with the stocking. Like I had all sorts of great.
You mean Santa?
Yeah, Santa. Sorry. If your kids are watching, first of all, you're a bad parent. Secondly, sorry. Santa, yes, did a great job with the stocking. He's a fine, upstanding man. But yeah, I love the stockings, and I miss the stocking, to be quite honest with you. That was a real great thing at Christmas, just running, grabbing the stocking. And my mother, we would open the gifts into the stocking at the end.
Oh, stocking was the end, huh?
Stocking was at the end. And
controversy alert. Wee woo, wee woo.
That is controversial.
It used to kill me. But yeah, at the end you just rip open your stocking, and my mother, Santa would wrap each thing individually in there. I mean, it was just great. It really was. And I miss that, and we'll never have that back. So thanks for bringing that up.
We were always stockings first, but the stocking stuff was unwrapped. It was just
unwrapped. It's just you just dump it out on the floor, and you're like,
yeah,
wow,
you just love it. You like a lot of candy. When I was a kid, it was always candy. Yeah, it was always like some kind of baseball cards or hockey cards. Cards.
Well, I used to get the sticker albums, the baseball sticker albums, and the stickers. Yeah. I used to get that, and wrestling magazines. I used to love wrestling magazines. My mother would put 3 or 4 of those in there.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal. It really was.
That lifesaver book. Do you remember that thing with like the 10 different kinds of lifesavers?
Yeah,
in the book.
Ooh.
I used to get that guy.
Good little one. Yeah,
and then some kind of tradition. I think that when my mom was at my grandmother's house, Santa used to give them an orange, a walnut, and a penny used to be in every stocking. So that we got that too. That was part of our stocking every time.
An orange, a walnut, and a penny.
Yeah. I don't know why, but
maybe that'll be the title of next week's episode. An orange, a walnut, and a penny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of. I don't remember like a lot of big gifts though. It's funny. It just goes to show you that you're wasting all your money on your children because they're not going to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got like I used to have like the G.I. Joe stuff and the like the Star Wars guys and stuff. I think I probably got like, a X-Wing fighter or like a something Star Wars related that I was over the moon for, I'm sure. I think I got actually, I remember one year I got a street hockey net.
Oh, the net, yes.
And now in the pads and everything. And so that was huge because we went out there right away and we were flying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Street hockey net was a big one. Yeah. Street hockey. Played a lot of street hockey.
Love it.
A lot of street hockey.
I mean, I was a little confused and a little curious about this little family tradition here. So I found on a quick Google search, these are the two common things that I found. Is that one, the orange symbolizes a gift of gold from St. Nicholas. The walnut represents a small valuable treat, and a penny signifies good luck and prosperity. But apparently, back in the Great Depression in the 1930s, when money was tight, it was a treat or even a luxury to find things like orange or walnuts. So they would gather those and put those in stockings back in the day.
There you go. That was from my grandmother. So that's where that whole thing started. So
I thought it was because you're a little fruity and a little nutty. And
that's
here's a penny for your thoughts.
Yeah, that's all true. That's all true.
That's great. All right, beauty for this week, and the beauty is a beauty of an all-time beauty, and it's Maddie.
It's not a nice great way, so.
Oh, sorry.
I love you.
That's priceless. Yeah, it's my birthday in 12.
Yeah,
days.
it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Maddie. It's your birthday. So this episode drops Thursday, and Maddie's birthday Friday the 13th. Lucky 13. You and Johnny Gaudreau, big 13 guys.
Big 13s. Yeah, me and Taylor Swift on December 13.
Yeah, Tay.
And Sergei Fedorov is the one good hockey player on December 13.
There you go.
So there you go. Yeah, I'll be 29 again.
29 again. You doing anything special for your 29th birthday?
Yeah, I'm coaching high school basketball at night. That's a fucking blast. And then Saturday night I'll be up till fucking 3 a.m. doing post game live.
Yeah,
so there's your birthday.
That's good.
Fucking A rights we are, Maddie.
Turns sideways and shoved right up Mikey Keister.
I mean, yeah, that's good times had by all right there.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna crack open the bourbon and all the other alcohols.
I mean, you should do that. 100%. You should do that. Probably during the basketball game.
Right? Yeah, I get to
have a little urine assisting, like little Hoosiers action.
Yeah,
out there, Dennis Hopper. Just
I'm gonna be
get drunk and get belligerent on the court.
Yeah.
I think you should do that. Do you have a chance? Do you have a chance of winning that game?
No.
So that'll be fun.
In fact, we're gonna get the Vaseline out in that one. I think.
Yeah, just like so I coached my son's baseball all the way up until he was 17, 18 years old. And we had a travel game on my birthday, and we traveled to Framingham to play another team. And it was a beautiful stadium. So that was nice, but it was like a 45-minute drive through traffic to get there. And then we absolutely got annihilated, just ripped to shreds.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
On my birthday. And then at the end, it was like, here's some cupcakes. And I just wanted to throw them on the ground and go home and drink. But it was a nice thought by everyone. But it was it's a birthday I'll probably always remember because I traveled and got to watch my son play baseball, which is nice, but we got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, this is going to be not great too. But Saturday night we'll have to celebrate with some spirits.
Yeah, we'll do some birthday shots, birthday shooters for Maddie.
Birthday shooters against what are they playing? The Calgary Flames. They have a chance to win.
Yeah, so. Adrian was talking about tequila. Maybe you could do some tequila shots off of Adrian.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's not anywhere near you.
Where she lives? Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea where she lives. I think she lives in Florida, maybe. No, she lives in North Carolina.
North Carolina, that's right. She lives
and
up
I will say that
mountain region or whatever.
Outside of Asheville or something.
She has pointed out her husband helps procure the alcohol, so
he does. He also doesn't like mashed potatoes or something. Something happened on Thanksgiving that was catastrophic. Can't remember, but
no, I just all in good fun, Adrian.
Of course.
She did mention she was drinking tequila in the last postgame live.
Yeah, she was. She had tequila and tequila and limes, which hey, I'm all about. Squeeze all the limes in there.
Sure,
love it. So there it is. The big 5-2 coming up Friday.
Good for you.
Boom.
So we should do a bender, I guess. The bender this year is Christmas shopping.
I hate it. I do. I just hate it. Like, I've never been good at it. I'm always out there Christmas Eve. Like, I've decided this year I'm not going to be out there Christmas Eve.
You're not doing it? You're just not doing it?
I'm just not doing it.
Just not doing it?
I'm going to be a Jehovah's Witness or something. I don't want to do it. I don't want to shop. It's just like, I don't know. You go out there and I know Amazon and all that other stuff, but I'm a traditional guy. I go to the store. First of all, I don't know what the fuck to buy. So I have to go see it, smell it, feel it. Like, I don't know. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to do it as much. I just don't.
I'm with you. I don't like going out to the stores. I do most of it now through Amazon.
Yeah. I tell you, they say that everybody's shopping online. The stores are packed.
Well, it's because you go out on the 24th. All the last minute people, you can't get it shipped in time. That's why they're all packed then.
Yeah, I know. That's
because
right.
you can't get it shipped if you just went on Amazon tomorrow.
Yeah, it's me and all the other guys 2 weeks away from divorce. Like, it's all of us just sort of slouched around, like just angry, miserable.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab this fucking hat and mittens.
I did used to. I liked before I got to where all the people were back in the day. Because I go over to Dunk's, I get like a peppermint mocha coffee or something, turn on the holiday music in the car. And I'd be feeling all great as I'm driving there until somebody cuts me off, and then I tell them to fuck off, and then I get to the door, 4,000 people in there, and I tell all of them to fuck off.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
Then you're driving home, listening to Three Doors Down, and you're just like, this is not what I signed.
Driving home, listening to Nirvana or Slipknot or fucking 9 Inch Nails or something.
Oh God!
9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral is what you listen to on the way home from Christmas shopping.
Speaking of downward spirals, the Bruins are downward spiral. Oh fuck! I don't know. But hey, prospect spotlight is always said. Hey, here's good news: the Bruins have the worst prospect pool in the National Hockey League, and here is an example of one: Beckett Hendrickson. Beckett is a good prospect, I would assume, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, he's another guy that hopefully has some middle six aspirations for the hockey club 3 years from now. He is playing at the University of Minnesota because he's a Minnesota Tonkian or whatever they are. Minnesotan. He has 2 goals and 2 assists for Minnesota in 18 games. As a plus, he's an even. So 2 goals, 2 assists in his first crack at college hockey. Beckett is large. He's about 6'3". I don't know. I'm hitting pop-ups everywhere on this screen, but 6'2", 180 pounds or so, center.
Good.
He's a guy with a little bit of upside. He'll probably play 3 years in college hockey, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean they need to hit on some of these, middle round prospect guys.
They do.
They just need to.
They do.
They need to.
It needs to be Braden Point.
Yeah,
soon.
I was just gonna say that they need to find their Braden Point, or their they need to luck into one of those guys. And we'll see. There's some potential there, and with some of their prospects having some breakout seasons. So, maybe there's a little something there with a few of these guys. So, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. Hey, we had a poll this week. Yeah. Should the Bruins trade Trent Frederic to avoid losing him in free agency? And we had 336 votes, and the yeses win. 70% say yes, 30% say no, which I was a little surprised about because of the Trent Frederic apologists out there.
How many votes were there?
336.
I voted 330 times.
You did. You skewed it a little. Yeah, a little.
I voted yes that they should trade him. That was me.
Yeah. Yes.
I was
that. Yes. That's different than. I feel like fans are a little more down on Frederic than they have been.
Yes.
I feel like that has swung, and I think that most agree with us. There was a Devils fan who chimed in and gave us this trade scenario. Nathan Bastian, who was a rugged forward, 2025 second, a 2026 fourth to Boston for Frederic.
Bastian, a second and a fourth.
Yeah, that's what he proposed.
Yeah.
Now they don't have a second. The Bruins don't have a second in 2025, so that kind of slots in there. And then they get the fourth and 26, and Bastian, who's been injured. I think he just came back from injury. But he's a Frederic, huh?
How much does he make? Do you know?
He makes about what Freddie makes. I think that was it's like 2.7 ish or something like that. I'll look it up, but yeah, the money kind of was even.
Okay,
but he has one. This is his. I think he's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year.
So we get a second and a fourth and a guy to fill his spot for the rest of this season, is what you're telling me.
This season is basically what we're saying. So we're getting the second and the fourth.
I would jump on that, and then I would drive Freddie down to New Jersey. I'd do a quick pirouette on the boardwalk. I'd pick up Bastian and drive him up.
Yeah, Bastian is 135, so they actually save. He makes half of what Frederic makes. Yeah, because Frederic's at 2.6. I think
that is an enormous win for the Bruins. If Don Sweeney didn't do that trade, he should be sued for malpractice and then fired.
I said on there that I would do that just because you save a little bit of money. You probably don't resign. Maybe you resign Bastian, but you probably don't. It probably comes down to Bastian and Kastelik. You probably don't. But so what? You get him at a reduced rate, same type of player.
You get a second and a fourth.
You get a second and a fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a second and a fourth.
Of course you do it.
You can't do it. Yeah.
It's not even a question. That should be like immediate.
Yeah. I almost want to send it to Donnie and say, "Hey, can you call New Jersey and just offer this? See what happens."
Send it to that guy, Don Sweeney on X, who pretends like he's Don Sweeney. Maybe he really is Don Sweeney. So yeah, you should send it to him and just be like, "The New Jersey Devils want to do this. Can you get it figured out?"
Yeah, I am with you. I think that could be something right there.
Tell that guy to talk to whoever the general manager of the Devils is.
Mm-hmm.
And
general manager of the Devils is
it Tommy Fitzgerald?
Tommy Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Is it?
Or yeah. Is this Fitzgerald? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Yeah. think so. But yeah, make that trade. Send him to the
100%
Devils.
make that trade.
And the Devils could use it. I mean, that I think that's a pretty good trade for both. I really do.
Yeah, I
Devils
mean,
are
if
for it,
Frederic plays
you
to
know?
his capabilities,
It is a pretty
he
good
could
trade.
add something to that team. He gives them a little toughness that they probably that team probably needs.
Yeah,
and he's a good down the a good bottom six guy for them. They have plenty of skill and scoring. They need a little grit, a little toughness, and you could certainly add that for them and score occasionally. And look, when he plays with good players, he's not bad.
He's not bad. Put him with Dawson Mercer, and
the Bruins just don't have good players to play him with right now.
No, I mean he was pretty good when we played with Taylor Hall, like we've said. Like that was a good matchup for him because Hall had speed and skill, and you had to honor him because he's a number 1 pick overall. So he had the talent, and he created some space for Freddie, and Freddie did his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you could put him right now with Eric Haller and Paul Cotter, or Eric Haller and Stefan Noesen, and that's a pretty good line.
Sure,
go ahead. Go ahead is what I say. Week ahead for the Boston Bruins: 12-12 at Seattle, 12-14 at Vancouver. Both 10 o'clock starts Eastern Time. 12-16 at Calgary is a 9 o'clock Eastern Time start. So it's going to be some late nights for Bruins Benders post game live. And if you're not watching it right now, you are missing out on a grand old time. Even better when they lose, to be quite honest with you. Colorful, inflammatory. All the good words.
Lots of information. Everybody's
drinking.
Everybody's inflamed. Everybody is.
Everybody's in cahoots.
Everybody is hungover.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Man.
And there's lots of swearing. So if you are letting your kids watch, you shouldn't let them watch that at all.
Right.
That would be a mistake.
Yeah. Don't do that at all. Don't do that at all.
Unless you want to teach them some colorful language.
Yeah. Teach them what not to do in life. Yeah.
If you want them to learn, the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want them to learn colorful language. We're your guys. We're your guys.
Street sense. That's our new slogan. We're about street sense. Yeah. That's what we do. We give the streets.
Yeah, because we're all about the streets.
Yeah, we bring you the streets.
Yeah.
We're the authentic. What is so? There was a Leafs fan on there that called us blue collar.
Blue collar.
Yeah, blue collar. If we wore collars, they'd be blue.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about blue.
I don't know about blue collar.
No, blue collar just screams to be like hardworking.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, look, we both put our time in at the UPS facility.
Oh, didn't we ever?
In Lowell, Massachusetts,
1997.
And that was some blue collar work. That was some blue collar work. I've never been more miserable in my entire life.
You have no more fingertips because of it.
Yeah, I can be an assassin. I may have killed the United Healthcare CEO. Might have been me.
Yeah, they have the wrong guy.
They have the wrong guy. I don't have any fingertips because I burned them all off on boxes in the back of semi-trailers working for UPS.
They were 5,000 degrees. Yeah, sweat like a pig. That was just good times. Then went on strike and never returned. We owe $38,000 in union dues right now.
Back dues.
Counting. Yeah, we do. So join us for Bruins Benders post game live. Hey, go to the merch shop, get some Bruins Benders merch, some Boston hockey merchandise for the holiday season, and subscribe to the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. Until next week, as always, go Boston Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Happy birthday, Maddie.
Yay.